The difference between men and women in the West. There are many differences, but one big one is that the men care what women want. We know what they want, we acknowledge it, we don't really complain about it. I mean, we might be sad that we don't have these things, like height, for example, we can't control that. Uh, but for the most part, we know the rules of the game, and we do our best to play by those rules, and we don't think how it should be. Well, women should not care about money or height or fitness or competency or status. They should just care about my personality and how much I'm going to love her. That doesn't put food on the table. So, yeah, men are aware of the reality. We acknowledge the reality, whether we like it or not, whether we complain about it or not. It's another story. But we strive to fulfill these desires of women as best as we can to increase our chances in the dating marketplace. Women, on the other hand, do not give a crap what men want. Because that's the patriarchy, that's submitting, that's agreeing to be oppressed or something. Men want the 3 F's, right? Fit, feminine, friendly. Women don't want to be those things. Oh, and we want you to cook and clean, make babies. Some people want you to do that. I personally don't. But if you want a man to want you, you should appeal to his desires. The desires that have been the same ever since the dawn of time. And women today, for whatever reason, Western women, modern women, whatever you want to call these monstrosities, these golems that have taken over, they think that men should just like them no matter what and serve them, give them all the attention and resources that they want, and offer nothing in return. This might sound cliche, you might have heard this in other channels, but it bears repeating. Women want a traditional man, but without being a traditional woman. And that's just not going to work out. It's not going to happen. Women think that men should care about things that they don't care about. They think that men should care about your career or your education, your income. The kinds of men who do care about those things, especially income or career, they're just parasite leeches that you will not be attracted to. They're like sugar babies, but male. Like, you don't want them. So, we want what we want. We always have. We always will. It's not going to change. And it's not oppressive or patriarchal or unfair. I'm sorry if you're a woman out there and you have the greatest personality in the world, but you're not having any luck because you're overweight, for example. I know some women like that. They actually, let me tell you a little story about a woman that I know who is 29 years old. I won't say who it is, in case they end up watching this and hating me. But it's someone very close to me. I'm really not sure if I should, but it's important. I know someone who's almost 30 years old, extremely overweight. Extremely. And she actually recited almost verbatim a part of the Barbie movie. The part where the girl is saying something like, we don't know whether to be submissive or assertive or fat or thin, or we don't know if we're being too slutty or too prude, blah, blah, blah. This person that I'm talking about actually thinks that they might be too thin for somebody. And they're morbidly obese. This is called delusion. And I'm not saying there aren't any delusional men out there. I'm not saying there aren't any men who think, well, she should just love me for me. She should love me because I love her so much and I would do anything for her. I can't do anything for her, but I would if I could. Like, yeah, there might be a few guys out there living in La La Land, but it's a very tiny minority, and I think it's a vast majority of women who think that they can offer nothing that men want and receive everything that they want from men. And it's just not how it works. So, women, you need to wake up. You need to come back to reality. Or you're gonna die single. It's that simple. And I don't want that. I want people hooking up. Not necessarily for procreation, but I just don't want everyone to be lonely. There's a loneliness problem going on right now. And, men are pretty good, once we get the hang of it, we are pretty good at being happy alone. We really don't need company. But women, I'm mostly concerned for you. If you want to not be lonely, if you want to not grow old and be a stereotypical cat lady or dog mom or whatever, drinking the boxed wine, crying because you waited too long to get your shit together, like I've seen happen, I don't want that to be your fate. But you have to ask yourself, you're basically, I don't want to objectify you, so to speak. And a lot of women will say, oh, you're objectifying a woman if you say she needs to market herself. If she's not meat for the market. Or if you compare a woman to a car, oh, she has too many miles. Oh, you're saying because she has a high body count, she's like a car. Why are you objectifying? It's an analogy. Obviously, you're not a car. The analogy is useful. Men don't want extremely used, beaten up, broken down things. And that's just the way it is. So, while you're young, or youngish, you should figure out how you can provide what men want, how you can compete in the marketplace, how you can sell, how you can get the highest price. How do you get the highest price? You become the most valuable. And what do men value? You have to ask yourself that question. Not what you think they should value. That's completely irrelevant. I don't think to myself, well, women really should want a big nose. That should be the most important thing to women, because I have one. I hope this has struck a chord with at least one female out there, or maybe some man has heard it and will be able to convey my message to a woman, and it will somehow help her to avert disaster, because collectively we're experiencing a disaster.